Hi, Cru. This is Dennis. Well, we're looking at Philippians, and the last couple weeks we've been dealing with the subject of humility. And Paul uses the example of Christ's humility in becoming human, and then his own humility, then Timothy, Epaphroditus. So you begin to get the picture that humility in serving God is very important. Well, in chapter 3, Paul bridges into something a little different, and he starts off with reminding his readers of the importance of rejoicing in the Lord. Now let's remember that he was in prison when he wrote this letter, so he knows what he's talking about. You know, that joy in spite of circumstances is really a godly characteristic. And then he gives a warning about this contrast between what he calls confidence in the flesh and then confidence in what the Spirit has accomplished through Jesus. And he lists a bunch of things that he says he could have confidence in these things in his flesh if he wanted to, but he considered them to be nothing but garbage. Yet, honestly, before he knew Christ, these were things he would have put on his resume. How would you feel if someone looked at your resume and said, garbage? I think that's what Paul had to realize. And when he came into relationship with Christ, he put it all aside. And there's two driving thoughts. Well, one driving thought, two verses. In verse 8, he says, he did this for the surpassing value of knowing Christ Jesus, my Lord. And in verse 10, he'll repeat that idea of saying, that I might know him. Now, let's not forget that by this time, Paul had been a minister of the gospel for many years. So he really did know the Lord. And yet, here's this apostle really wanting to know Christ intimately. I pray that you will take a look at some of the expressions that he uses in contrast to, or the means by which he comes to know the Lord. And the same is true for any disciple. I pray that you will take a look at some of those ideas, and by the grace of God, by the Spirit of God, you will apply those truths to your lives. Have a lively discussion. God bless.